social phenomenon that I see on the internet? Well, first off, I don't come from this with like a feminist perspective, because I think some people would be like, oh, all men are bad and all women are good. Because honestly, I know and I've seen in this lifetime where a lot of women, even liberal women, they pretend like they support other women and they don't, because anytime like you criticize somebody who is a woman in a very stringent kind of way, it just negates the fact that you're not really a true feminist. Like I don't even consider myself a feminist, by the way, but anytime that women participate in that behavior, they're not true feminists. Like, for example, there was this one woman on TikTok. She's living in a trailer, like a van, and she's like traveling around. And she said that she had to turn off her comments because she doesn't have like the most aesthetically pleasing van. It's not beautiful van life. This was a solution to her being homeless. And people just came to her, other women came to her in the comments, and they were hateful. And I just think that that's really sad. But I don't even think it's necessarily a feminism thing. I think it's just that humans not being kind to each other kind of thing. So if you see something that someone does that isn't like mainstream or doesn't look aesthetically pleasing the way that you think it should be, leave them alone. Like, you don't need to trash talk them. And that's something that I've seen women do, and I know women do things to men too, but I guess I'm just thinking about a couple of different examples of things I've seen on the internet, and that's an example of things women do that I don't think are nice. And I'm prefacing this by saying I don't want people to think like I'm coming down on men, but there's this whole Madonna whore thing, and it has to do with like this popular song that blew up on YouTube. I'm not even a big fan of rap. I don't hate rap. It's just not my favorite genre. Like, there are some good rap songs, but there's a lot of men that are losing their mind over this song called Area Codes, which is very tame as a video, by the way, compared to like some of the 80s rap videos that used to glorify violence. But men in the comments on this video, and any young woman that's pantomiming or dancing to this video, they're losing their minds over it. They're like, wow, I'm going to Asia or South America to marry a woman who has better morals. And I find this funny, because any man who says a woman belongs to the streets, or who talks about how he's going off to find a woman in some other locale, like, he could actually, if he was a good Christian boy or a good Muslim boy, he could meet a woman that had similar values to him in his own neighborhood. He wouldn't have to travel the whole world around. In fact, there's something very kind of concerning about a man who can't meet a woman like in his vicinity. Is it because he's burned all his bridges and he must go abroad? And even a lot of people nowadays like are more savvy, like because of the internet, they're gonna figure out like what your game is. So that could just be bravado. I don't know. And I get it, if people want to live a traditional lifestyle, do that. But why are you on this young girl's page, who must be in her early 20s, or on Khalil, who I don't know how old she is, but they're on these videos and they're obviously consuming that content, and you know they consume other porn content, and they're like chastising the women who do it. You know why? There's a word for it. It's called the Madonna whore. It's a psychology term. And this is one thing, like, I mean, it can kind of happen to men too. I think when men kind of get stereotyped as a player, that could be a similar thing that's not positive. But this whole Madonna whore thing is not positive either. Like, where certain women that are doing things that men have always done are being labeled this, this, and this, because this song's about a woman getting some money on a Cash App. And these guys are losing their mind. And it's just, I think the song is actually satire. I think people are losing their mind over the wrong thing. I think the song is just satire about how absurd it's become, that women, sometimes they start a only whatever thingy, and they're making like millions of dollars on that thing. I think it's satire. I really do. But there's men that are like, oh my gosh, I have to meet a traditional woman. I have to go to South America and Asia because, oh, I don't know, they're like just saying gibberish. And I'm thinking, if they really were concerned about having like this traditional lifestyle, would they be on YouTube, like going to every video that this woman puts out? And I just get curious and interested in like social issues sometimes, and I just find it hypocrisy. I'm like, really, you can meet people anywhere at any time that have the same values as you. It's not like you have to trek halfway across the world, and unless you're somebody who actually wants to live in that country and experience kind of culture, it's kind of weird that you would even be telling the internet that you're gonna go to South America or Asia unless you're from those countries, or unless you studied like a certain language in college or like on your own. If you have no connection or interest in that culture, and your only reason for going there is because you want to find a more traditional lady, it begins to sound like slavery. It begins to sound like hypocrisy, and the whole thing is these guys are doing the same thing that they're getting mad at Khalil and other people in the videos. Like, they do the same stuff, and it's like they want it to be hidden, and they are upset because I think that's the thing. I think because now, in this day and age, women are being more out about things that they do, just like guys were. But they don't like that because it kind of disrupts their dichotomy of the Madonna whore, because then they can't hide away what they do here because the internet might out them. But I think guys like that just have issues with women and people in general, and they need help. And it's kind of sad. Like, you probably shouldn't be dating anybody. That's my consensus on that. So I don't think area codes are the problem, or the song. Like, it didn't really hurt anybody. It's kind of a silly song, really. It's silly. I think it's satire. But all these men that are just getting so upset about it. Like, if you really want to meet a woman with more of your morality or values, you can do that. All you have to do is get off the ding-dong phone and go meet her at church or mosque. You don't need to, like, tell people in the comments of some video that... And at the end of the day, this young girl, I don't know, she's not even talking in her videos. Like, she's just pantomiming different popular songs, and guys are losing their mind over it. They're like, oh my God, she's not a decent woman, but yet they're watching her. She's like some 20-something-year-old girl. And, I mean, I don't know, she might even be younger. Maybe she's like 19. She looks like she's in her early 20s to me. And it's kind of creepy crawly times, because these men, I don't know, maybe some of them are her age, but a lot of them might be older. It's weird. I'm like, guys, like, so you're coming, well, I can tell you for a fact there was an older dude, because I read the comment, clicked on it, went to his video. This guy has to be 70. And he was like, oh, like, morality's going downhill. Oh, and then I don't even know, like, why is he watching her videos then? Like, if she offends him, you know why he's watching her videos? Because he secretly likes her. But he's put her in the whore box, and then other women are in the Madonna box. It's weird. Like, stop putting people in boxes, okay? If you're a healthy person with a healthy mind, you do not subscribe to Madonna whore. You're not one of those women that judges other women. You're a humanist. You stop judging other people, and you get more positive, more kind-hearted. Because I think a lot of people need to work on becoming kind-hearted people. Like, do better. Like, there's something wrong with the internet. Like, and at the end of the day, if a certain type of song bothers you or makes you feel cringy, I want to tell the people, like, what I wish my mom could have told the people back in the 90s when they used to cry about the spring break bikini girls on MTV, and they would call the cable office and be like, oh my gosh, there's girls in spring break in bikinis, make them go away. My grandkids are going to watch that channel. Unsubscribe from cable. I don't know. Like, if you can't control yourself, like, if you're one of those people you cannot control yourself, then, I don't know, go live like the Amish. I think the Amish have some issues too. So, this whole piety thing, I mean, if you want to live a certain righteous kind of life, that's fine. But you're not really doing that when you're watching Khalil's video and telling the internets about how you're off to Peru to meet a traditional girl. And then another guy's like, I'm from South America, and they're not good either. They belong to the streets. No, you guys are misogynists. Get it together, get a better life, become more kind-hearted. I think that's the only thing I could tell people is you lack, at the end of the day, these men that brag about meeting like a more righteous woman, they lack a morality within themselves. And if they were good within themselves, they wouldn't be on some quest to find a woman far, far away from them. They'd be working on themselves, and they would organically